Good day, Miss Alicia. Excuse me. I need to do that and switch. Go. Put that on for focus and that's that. Let's go and photos, profile, select all them, send, airdrop. All right, I'll be right back in 2 seconds. I want to go to settings, general, airdrop, send. All right. So to recent, select. Move to album, cancel, to album, that's all pics. Whew. All right, I'm back.
Me too.
All right. Who else we got? Let's do it. Gallery.
Kai, did you get my email?
I did not see any emails.
No, Kai.
Oh. You're on mute, Kai.
No, I didn't get any emails.
Okay. Can you put your email in the chat so I can confirm that I got the right one?
Yes.
All right. Boom. There's always so many things to do. So my sister is coming to town today, and I didn't think she was coming in. So I'm all shifting around and doing a bunch of stuff, and the house isn't clean enough. So she's gonna go back and tell my mom.
Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Wes.
Good morning.
All right.
Morning.
So let me do this. All right. Everybody get the agenda?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So how's the family doing, Wes? Got improvements?
Yeah, improvements for sure. Thank you for asking.
Oh, well. Sickness, health is wealth. And actually, I was just having that conversation this morning with my wife because the baby always has mucus and breathing problem, which children do and all. But I'm like, it's the formula. We got to stop doing the formula. No. But give more water to get to flush it out and get everything through. So that made me think of this other gentleman that was talking about how if you have, or Dr. Sebi, he was talking about how if you have a bunch of mucus and everything, it's because you need to detox. You're full of crap. So the number one thing we need to do to get that accomplished is eating fruit. So eat fruit, drink water, stay away from meat or minimize meat, better health.
That's true. I'm like the healthiest out of everybody because that's all I do. I eat a lot of fruit, watermelon, mangoes, grapes.
Well, watermelon is tremendous because watermelon hydrates you. Most people think they get their hydration from drinking water.
It's H3O right there. H3O.
H3O, exactly. You get it from eating fruit. So I need more fruit in my life.
Oh yeah, I just went crazy yesterday at Publix. When I bought a whole bunch of things. You gotta get on your fruit diet, man. Cause that's where you get your electricity from. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's another thing. I'm on. Okay. So I bug a lot of people because I find on these little tidbits on Instagram, which I think are gems, and I send them out to everybody. I know it's annoying. I'm gonna keep doing it anyway. I'm not gonna stop because people need this information. All right.
No, you need it, man. Shit. TikTok is where it's at, really. If you want to like gather information and really have the algorithm working in your favor when it comes to things that's gonna benefit you and make you better, TikTok is where it's at. Instagram is done.
The hack is you don't let the algorithm determine it for you. You determine it yourself. And even on Instagram, TikTok, or whatever I'm on, I gravitate and I focus on the things that uplift, bring, expand, and everything. And just keep this in mind.
Take the cock.
What?
Sound like you said take the cock.
That's a misspeak if I did say that. I don't remember saying that. But nonetheless, the point being, you get what you find what you look for. And if you're finding negativity, it's because you're looking for negativity. If you're finding problems, you're looking for problems.
Yes,
focus on solutions. Focus on solutions. Focus on solutions and everything. So the whole point of that was there was a gentleman that was talking about the body electric and saying that he has never, in all of his decades of study, seen somebody who had a low voltage and wasn't sick. So when you keep your body and your cells at a high voltage, you can stay healthy. Now, the key is, how do you get that voltage? Now, there's different ways to do it. You can walk outside barefoot because that releases negative ions. You can get your fruit, get proper hydration. You got to get digestion. You got to clean everything out just so you can absorb your food nutrients properly. But anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox. I'm going to keep annoying everybody. And I just want the best for all of you. Yeah.
Thank you, Clifford. We love all your back-to-back IG reels.
Hey, when you find them, they put you in the algorithm, then you get a string of them. So that could be a blast. But everybody knows, everybody's gotten them. If you haven't gotten them, I'm going to rotate you in. So.
Haven't gotten them.
All right,
even in the chain. That's annoying, not good.
All right. You don't come up on my feed much. I gotta connect with you more on Instagram because I don't see you a lot in my links. So we'll work on that. But nonetheless, let's get started. Any announcements? Anybody have anything interesting or anything new is coming down the pipe? I know we have the expo coming up at the end of the month.
Yeah, I get ready. The word's about to change.
We'll save that for open discussion. But nonetheless, yes, get ready. Stack your money, get your cash. We'll get into that in a bit. But just want to stay more on topic because that's a whole other thing. I'll go off on that. So, all right. Where did I put that? Am I right? All right. What's the agenda? All right. What other announcements we have? What other events we have coming up?
I always have my Tuesday Night Live via Zoom.
All right. And I didn't send out the Black Business Support last night. I started getting ready for my sister and clean up the house and all this other stuff. I'm gonna get that done this morning, right after this meeting. And then I gotta finish cleaning up the room because the sheets are clean. So
can you resend me the agenda? I don't see it.
If you do a search, check your spam folder and just search out Mr. Sunshine or agenda, DC networking agenda. It should come up in that. I don't know why, and I don't know how to fix it, but I get caught in the spam folder from time to time.
Mr. Sunshine, you said?
Correct.
Not working?
Yes, it's difficult for the software I use to send out that agenda by itself because it's individualized for each one. So it's a bunch of steps if I have to go through and do that.
There's I think we can get MailChimp that could do
this is more
workflow.
powerful. This is more powerful than MailChimp. I started with MailChimp. This does a whole bunch more.
It's free?
Right. No, I pay a good grip of money for this. And it's West Point of View.
Yeah, do West Point of View then, yeah.
At Life Designers or Gmail?
Well, do lightdesigners at gmail.com then.
All right. At gmail.com.
I'm driving. I can't really do no search.
All right. lifedesigners@gmail.com. All right. I just forwarded you my version of it. It's right there. All right. Welcome. All right. So the next step is
Alicia, you say you have a podcast tonight? What do you have tonight?
Zoom. So it's spring cleaning. Getting ready for your spring look.
perfect.
For
your skin is
for your skin.
Say that again.
You said for your skin?
Yep.
Okay. What time you doing that?
It's 8 o'clock.
Who do you normally have on there? Like females?
Sometimes there are some men, but I do a male one on the last Tuesday of the month that's specifically males. But the second Tuesday is everybody. So I cover everybody.
All right.
Some men don't like being and letting other people know that they're taking care of the skin. Don't know why. I don't know why.
In 2023, man.
Hey, real men aren't open like that. Tell you what, that's like soft soy boys. But that's all right. You guys still gotta take care of your skin. I gotta get with you. I gotta take care. I gotta up my beard game. I need more oil and all. But all right. Nonetheless, so let's go around for introductions. And I'll send out your listing this right after the meeting. And all right, so introductions. Good day, everyone. Mr. Sunshine here, Clifford T. Mitchell of Crew SWFL Solar. Get excited. Your electric bill is going up another 10% this month. So get ready, check your mailbox, run to it, find it. If you're happy to pay that bill, continue on. If you want to save yourself, save your family, save your friends, send them my way. I'll get them running on sunshine. Now I want all of you to go forth and spread some sunshine. I'll pass it over to Miss Alicia.
Great day. I'm Alicia C. Dickerson, ambitiously leading the way, empowering dreams of debt-free flexibility and yes, driving-free cars, or take that cash. It works just as well. Success is the secret sauce that's taken my team and I to the top. Skincare is where it's at. You want to make sure that your skin is doing what you want it to do, which is keeping you ageless. So make sure that you are joining me on the second Tuesday, fourth Tuesday to find out how you can up your skincare game. Alicia C. Dickerson. I'm passing it on to Kai.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kaina Daysteen, but I go by Kai to make it short. I am your broker associate in the Southwest Florida area. If you have any real estate needs, I'm your girl. So if you want it, I want it for you. So like I said, call me for all your real estate needs.
Well, who you handed it off to, Kai?
Oh, there's only one more person, right?
No, there's two.
There's two others.
Oh,
Go ahead.
who's the next person?
There's Wes and Joe.
Typo. Okay. Joe, do you want to go?
It's not do you want, tell them volunteer.
Who are you passing it
Take
to?
control.
Got you.
Joe, go.
I got you. Good morning, this is Joe Simmons, All Around Promotions. A good referral for us would be graduation time is coming up. So if anyone has any graduates, whether it be pre-K, elementary, middle school, high school, or even college or grad school, send them our way, or even nursing school, send them our way, and we'll make sure we get them right. All around promotion, your number one hotspot for all your promotional needs. And let's pass it on to Wes.
This is Wes, founder of the Kingdom Press newspaper, reporting striking news of our time. And as our times are changing, we are looking to update you on information that's going to be vital and life-changing. The idea is basically to bring awareness to what's happening in our community, for us to basically be ready to fend for ourselves, literally, financially, and still got to work on that pitch. But yeah, striking news of our time, the Kingdom Press.
All right, outstanding. So thank you everyone for joining us, being here this morning. As DC Networking, our mission is to help businesses develop, connect, and get involved in the community. So we're all focused on that single goal so we can actually become more intertwined and make sure we become that support system as the world goes to hell in a handbasket. All right, so moving on to our book review. We've been going on, or I shouldn't call it book review, our book of the
Book club.
year, book club, our book club, there we go. We're going over Success Principles by Jack Canfield, and we're on principle 26. And I went through the notes and realized I did the same one like 3 times in a row. So we've been doing 26 for like 3 times. But it's really 26, and it's acknowledge your positive past. It's at 9 hours, 41 minutes, and 51 seconds for those of you following along on YouTube. All right, so when looking at that, most people remember their failures more than their successes. This is because the brain remembers intense feelings. Now, when you actually have failures, for example, it goes all the way back to your childhood. When you were 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're playing in your room quietly, just leaving mom and dad alone, they didn't say anything. But as soon as you came out, started getting loud, your toys flew out the doorway, banged against the wall or something like that. Next thing you know, it comes a whirlwind. Hey, oh my God, what are you doing? You need to stop that. You need to control that. So the intense feelings of those interactions start to solidify in our brain. Remember, oh, I did something wrong. And it goes through life. And it gets to the point when, as we're teenagers, people go through and they point out, oh, you got a wrinkle in your clothes. Oh, your teeth are stank. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. And those intense emotions of embarrassment and ridicule stick in. We're like, oh, I did something wrong. And then when we become adults and, oh my gosh, my business failed. Oh my gosh, I lost that sale. Oh my gosh, whatever happened. Those intense emotions get stuck in our brain. So we need to rewire ourselves and retrain our brain to focus on our successes. Now, anyone that's actually making effort and attempting to do great things will have more failures than successes. But focusing on the successes helps you remember those successes instead of remembering those failures. All right, we have to retrain our brain to focus on because we find what we look for. So when we find the successes and we look for the successes, we'll continue a loop of successes and we get those micro successes, because small changes over time, big results. All right, so we have to create those intense emotions on our successes and stick with them and relive them and replay them in our brain and not get into that negative loop, or what we refer to as the neg ball of, oh my gosh, I woke up, I stubbed my toe. The next thing you know, my alarm didn't go off. And next thing you know, I spilled coffee. And next thing, it just becomes a snowball of negativity. Create a snowball of positivity in your life. When successes happen, it's so easy to forget all the mistakes that came along. So just focus on those successes. Now, your self-esteem is directly connected to your ability to take risks. He gave it in the analogy of, if you have 10 poker chips and I have 200 poker chips, and we're, excuse me, and every risk in our life, we have to put in poker chips. If you've only got 10, you only got 10 shots. And if they win or lose, you're going to be more conservative with the shots you take. While somebody that has 200, oh, I'll blow 10. I'll try 15. I'll try 20. They're throwing around. They're trying everything and anything that comes along. All right. So we need to build up our poker chips. And those poker chips are how we feel about ourselves. People that are comfortable with themselves, that love themselves, appreciate themselves, are willing to take risks. I tell everybody all the time, I am not risk averse. I love risk. I take risks just because I want that win. I take big learning moments, not L's, there's no losses, big learning moments because I take bigger risks and I take many risks. And keep in mind, it's a lot easier to take small risks than big risks. So take lots of small risks and they'll build up to big successes. It's just about the willingness to do that. But you have to have your own self-esteem and believe in yourself to the point where you can do that comfortably and you can do it responsibly. I'm not saying go all willy-nilly and just, be reckless. Be methodical, plan it out, move forward. All right. Everything is a chance. And then he goes through and he says, you want to break your life to find your top 9. You want to go into your life and find your top 9 successes. And when he first said that sentence, even I was like, ooh, 9 successes, that'll be hard. But when you break your life into eras, and you said break it into 3 eras. So I'm almost 45 years old. I'm closer to 50 than I am 25. It's wild.
What? No.
I know, right? So
I feel like you my age. That's
hey,
how we connect.
each one of these gray hairs is a lesson of wisdom. So I'm wiser than most. That's how we feel like that. All right.
Find the
So
box
now,
and color.
hey, it's one of those things. So in my life, I would break it into 3 15-year eras. So in my first 15 years, what were my big successes? I got my mustache. I felt that was a huge success. So that was a big one. All right. Another big one. In my first 15 years, I found my talent, and it was running. I became a track star freshman year of high school because I was almost like a prodigy when it came to hurdles. I was varsity by the end of my freshman year. So I was looked at for varsity. I was varsity my second year for sure. I was almost made varsity. I think I was on like 1 race away, and I missed a race because I had asthma. Blah, 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 blah. But anyway, and then my other great success in my first 15 years was when I was 3 years old, my mother entered me into a baby contest. I got 3rd place and I got this trophy for being the cutest baby. And I was always the sweetest baby. I was always so nice and helpful and everything. And I remember I carried around that trophy. I showed every other trophy. I don't care if it was 1st place. I didn't care if it was 2nd place. It was whatever. I was all about my trophy. And that trophy broke in the move when we moved from Nebraska to Missouri. I was very devastated. But winning that contest or coming in the top 3 in that contest and is my other success. Those 3 come out in my mind. My second era, I made it into the Naval Academy, one of the most prestigious schools in the United States. So I made it to that for the military career. Didn't work out, but I made it in, and even getting in, it takes training, it takes academics, it takes a interview with a senator or representative, and I got an interview with a representative, Jim Talent, and made it in for that. My other great success, I became the general manager of a wind turbine manufacturing company when I was 26. So it was really an amazing accomplishment. I was organized, methodical. I ran the American division. The president of the company ran the Chinese division. And it was really amazing because when people talk to me on the phone or by the email, they showed me the utmost respect. As soon as they saw me in person, like, what? This youngin' coming in here? What? This isn't the same one. They started treating me different. So I maintained phone and email from that just to maintain that. But nonetheless, it was a great accomplishment on that. And my third, that was, what else did I do that stood out to me? Oh, it was success with the ladies. I was a late bloomer. So my second era of life, I figured it out. It was lovely. College was fun. All right, going into my last era. So I got married. I did not expect getting married. And I got married to a wonderful wife, and she picked me. I did not think, I didn't expect it. I thought she wouldn't like me and all that. And next thing I know, I'm marrying the woman. It's amazing. And we had our son. That's next huge accomplishment. My baby boy, my namesake. So he's a little ball of energy. I love him. He can be frustrating, but he's amazing. And my third success is my ability to cultivate a network of positive and uplifting people. That's one of the key things. I do my best to reach out to others and cultivate that, develop it. So those are my 9. Find your 9. What can you do? What can you develop? What do you have in mind for your life? Anybody that can run, or who can run through theirs? Or anybody want to run through theirs? I just put myself out on blast and all. All right. Everybody gets all shy all of a sudden.
It's a hard breakdown because I remember reading that chapter, as I said, or listening to it. When I listened to it, I did the same thing. I went back and tried to figure out what were my successes that I had forgotten about. So just being able, my first one in the first quarter would be, I won't tell you how old I am. I'm definitely older than Clifford. But in that first 15, I can remember being chosen to go to a special school. And like Clifford felt, that's a privilege to be chosen. So even early on in life, you learn that to be chosen is privilege. So doing that and having the success of that, then it was graduating from a prestigious high school at the top of my class and all of those things. There were many things that were happening that I could have taken the opposite direction, but there's something about someone encouraging you and reminding you of where you have come and the successes and not reminding you of your failures. So my parents would always tell me all the good things and all the bad things would kind of go away. But then you go to high school and like you said, everyone starts pointing out those things that you never were aware of, but they were there, but never put the focus on. So coming through high school, not being the chosen girl or the pretty girl or in the it club, it was kind of devastating. I went off to college a little shy and just didn't feel like I belonged because of all those 4 years of people pointing out the bad things. Instead of hearing my parents, I heard all the negative things and I thought all those things that, you know, college, high school kids were saying. And then finally, finding myself and realizing all those positive things that happened, my parents were actually doing what Canfield is talking about, elevating the successes, no matter how minor they are, we have to remind ourselves. And so moving on to marrying my Mr. Wonderful was one of the biggest successes that I recall because like Clifford didn't choose his wife, I didn't choose Barry. I actually cut it off with him and didn't realize how much he brought value to me by being the same encouraging person of the positive things. So that was a huge success, marrying and having I miscarried one. 2 amazing children was another success. Moving all the time, I never thought about the successes of the moves. We moved every 2 years after we got married. So as soon as I would find something, it would be taken away because we had to move. So I had to remind myself that, you know, starting over wasn't a bad thing. I had to find the good in starting over. So in all those times of starting over, up until now, starting this, becoming a Mary Kay consultant was a success that I didn't even think of as a success. But now at 56, I look back and I see the success of that because I wasn't the makeup girl. I was always skincare. I didn't do the things that most people think about a Mary Kay consultant. They think that you've got makeup down pack and I knew nothing about it. So that success and then becoming a sales director, having a team of 50 plus in several different states, you know, that's a success. And especially running it in the pandemic, not them being here where you could love on them. So being able to do those things were all successes that I kind of think of. They're small to someone else, but yet they give me the confidence to keep moving on, regardless of what them say. Them will tell you all the bad things about you. Your glasses are dirty. Like, okay. Your eyelashes are falling off. Okay, they're not real. I'll take it off. You know, so turning the negatives into positives.
Outstanding. So the next key part of that exercise is after you identify your 9, go back and find your 100 successes. And you want to keep that as what they refer to as a victory log. So whenever you get down, whenever you feel challenged, you go back, you go through your own victories and see where you've been successful and maintain that and repeat that and keep it going. So it's tremendous. We have to always remind ourselves and build ourselves up. The last thing that they say to go over is appreciate yourself. You want to go through, stand in the mirror, and it's the mirror exercise. At the end of each evening for 3 weeks, you want to go through and recap your day and say what you appreciated that day, the successes you got that day, and finish that off with loving yourself. All right. You don't love you. Nobody's going to love you more than you. And nobody needs, I think everybody's pretty clear. Clifford loves Clifford. I don't think anybody's going to question that. Everybody knows this. So that part's easy for me, but making it easy for yourself, do that. We don't love ourselves enough, and we need to love each other more. All right. So it's that. All right. Anybody else have anything to add before we move on? All right. So going next is community involvement. So we have our wind down coming up at the end of May. So this is going to be connected to our real estate forum. So we're getting everything together for the hop, and we have our meeting this Thursday. It's going to be back at the clean, nice spot over at Marco's behind the AutoZone with the mural on it. I forget what he calls that building. I always refer to it as Brian's spot or Marco's spot, but behind that building, we're going to go there at 10 o'clock. We're going to go over our stuff, and we want to have our meeting for our quarterly meeting that we missed last week, or is it 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. And we want to do that right afterwards. So it's going to be a bit of a day. It's going to be a chunk of a day. So I anticipate 10 to 3-ish, but if you can clear your schedule, it's going to take a good chunk of that day so we can get through a lot. The most important thing though is the land bank stuff, so we can finally get caught up on that, because we're about a month behind of where I had initially wanted us to be at. And we want to have everything in place. And I sent to Kai and Ebony the program that Bank of America has for low income and home ownership, that we got to find the contact to reach out to so we can get connected into that program. All right. And that way we could take our homeowners that are all set, nice, prepackaged, and say, here, Bank of America, give them a mortgage so we can sell this house and make a bunch of money. All right. So we got that. And Kai, I believe you mentioned that you had started the National NACA program, right? How's that coming along?
It's today at 12.
Okay, you're starting today. Well, congratulations. You were one of the chosen.
I don't know about that, but yeah. So I guess that will be one of my successes once I complete it.
Right. Perfect.
So yeah.
So we want to look at what NACA's doing and mirror what they're doing, because success is repeatable. We look at people that are successful, do what they do, and we can find it just as easily, if not easier, because we didn't have to do the legwork to get to the point that they did, because they've already laid the groundwork. So just repetition. I think it was Picasso said the highest form of flattery is imitation, something like that. Or yeah, we'll work with it that way. But nonetheless, so we get that. So we want to get into the community, and we also need to find the ways that we can uplift the community through that. So the investment aspect is one of the key ways that we can actually identify and find those people of means in Southwest Florida. All right. Right now, and that's one thing I've noticed through McCollum Hall, is there's no central hub of connecting or finding these people of means, these influencers, these movers and shakers locally. All of them are split up and spread out. So in this process, we are becoming the hub, and we are becoming the central location to find the people of means, find the influencers, and be the community leaders. So all of you are playing a vital role, and really going to be on the forefront and the front page of this as DC networking. All right, so keep that in mind. We're all stepping into a destiny that we were meant for. When I think about the past, because I've studied history, those of us that were brought here as slaves and those that were put into slavery have noble and royal blood. The reason that they want to hide our history is because of jealousy, because of vengeance, because we were on top. They flipped the script, they became on top, and largely because of our humility, our ability to forgive, and our ability to keep ourselves open, which made us vulnerable, which is how the whole script got flipped. But it's about stepping back into our legacy. The blood of kings and queens courses in your veins. So we need to reconnect with that, and we need to reestablish that. And this is one of the key ways that we're going to be doing that. All right, so that's what I keep in my mind. keep in your mind as well. All right. Your royalty. All right. So kind of got on a little tangent there, but nonetheless. So community involvement. So bringing in those people and finding those movers and shakers is going to be critical to make sure we have the success. We're going to be identifying the lots we're going to build houses on, and then finding the investors. First 15 are going to be the most challenging, and everything's going to kind of springboard from there. So the idea is promotion. So what ways can we get more involved in the community that we can easily touch and promote that?
I want to say something real quick. I noticed that I know most of you guys that's on here aren't from here originally. So Easter has always been one of my biggest parts of the year. The last few years it had died down because of the really the parade. The parade was literally at one point like 5-10 minutes and it would be over with. I actually left the shop Sunday like 3:30. I got to see the Easter parade. I'm gonna just say the Easter parade is back. It's like the parade I remember growing up. Like it was like tradition. And I know even telling some of my friends and talking to people, they'd be surprised about how serious Fort Myers takes Easter. This would have been, I ain't gonna lie, I'm sitting there watching and I'm like, man, we supposed to had some kind of presence in that parade. Like the parade, I think the parade was like 3 hours long. Like literally. They revamped, I think, the parade committee, and I think it has brought life back to the city. Like it has made Easter what it was. Definitely hitting events like that would have been next year. We need to make that a must do. But definitely hitting events like that. I'm trying to think what's coming up. I really don't know what's coming up now. Any events like that to that magnitude. But definitely I was sitting out. I left after probably about 2 hours of the parade. It was long, but it was just good to see the parade being back. It was a lot of people that's been to these meetings was in the parade. So I definitely think we can catch some of those kind of events. Like I said, I don't think nothing else is coming up. That's once a year.
Well, that's actually one of the key things that we had really wanted to get established at the beginning of the year was knowing what holidays, what events are coming out through the year so we can plan on them and they're not just sneaking up on us. We're creating our own, but what other ones can we tap into that we can be a part of, that we can be more connected with? Yeah. I know McCollum Hall has been a good one. And with just in general, the wind downs, I really feel are good events to get us out there, but we need to maximize more and do follow-up communications, contacts with the guests that come to our meetings. I post their phone numbers in the notes. So those of us that are getting the notes, all of us are getting the notes. We have to go through and we want to reach out to them. We have to build a connection. We have to maintain a relationship, because when too much of I met them once and kept on pushing is happening. I'm reaching out to, that reminds me. So Jason Teeters, that had the Black Thought Leaders meeting, he said there's another gentleman from Lee Health that wants to set up the next one, and they're looking to do those quarterly. So we had one in January. There's supposed to be one coming up in April. We're going to be in charge of the one in July. I told him we were going to step up and do that. So come July, we're going to be hosting the Black Thought Leaders, and which is going to be another good way that we can connect. The key is maintaining the connection, maintaining the relationship. So he's connecting me with the person that's doing it for this one. So we want to all make sure that we can attend. So when we find that date, clear your schedule, move heaven and earth. We need to show up as a unit, as a group. All right. We talked about getting some shirts or some whatever. We can even get some pins, do something. We'll all put a Band-Aid like Nelly under our eyes, let them know DC Network or something.
Same color, something. Yeah.
We need to do something to coordinate and show group unity, connection.
You say you don't have a date on that. It's supposed to be April?
It's supposed to be in April. I do not have a date. I reached out to him yesterday and he said he was going to connect with me. I might just have to pull up, and I'm not scared of that. I'll pull up on people. You're not. And I'm gonna say, hey, what's going on? You said you're supposed to give me the information with this gentleman. I haven't seen anything, I haven't heard anything. Let's get it rolling. Because we get momentum and then we fall off. You never see a rocket go up, stop halfway, stretch his legs, take a break, get a cigarette or whatever, and then keep going. All right. We have to build momentum, maintain momentum. That's the only way we're going to break the gravity and create the orbit and have everybody moving with us. All right.
I have a question, Joe. Who's over the Easter parade? What community involvement person?
Actually, when Jermaine Church, I think he's on the committee. They had, I ain't gonna lie, they had revamped. So like, just to kind of give you a little history, like growing up, the Easter parade was like a must as a kid. Like you gonna make sure you gonna worry your parents to death, your grandparents, whoever raising you, to make sure you get to that parade. Well, it lost that. And like nobody wasn't even going. Like it got to the point where the parade was literally 5 to 10 minutes long. And it was like the kids that, the people that was trying to take their kids, if you was late, you missed it. You know, it was that bad. So like about probably, I want to say probably about 3-4 years ago, I think, if it's been that long, they got a whole new parade committee. And I think Jermaine Church was on it. I don't know if he still is on it or whatever. They were trying to get him on the way.
I know Martin Bird was leading that up, wasn't he?
I don't know. I remember Church hit me up about it. And because it was just something brought to my attention. I had somebody ask me, I've never been in it. And like, because I'm working through the parade. People still are, the parade could be starting and people calling me for banners and stuff like that, you know? So like I didn't leave till like 3:34, but like it's back now. Like, I mean, it just reminded me as a kid, you know, everybody come out, you know, you got your nicest outfit on, all the kids look good, everybody just look good. You know what I'm saying? Even the older people, everybody was just looking good. You know what I'm saying? On Easter, and you know, everybody bringing out the nice cars, and then you know they throwing all the candy to the kids in the parade. They used to take the dance groups out. They had to, because the other committee was older. It was an older generation. So like they took the dance groups out. The dance groups are back in. They're not dancing, but they was, you know, step, which I kind of feel on the dance groups because some of them little girls be dancing a little bit too grown for me. But they wasn't dancing, but they did have them in the parade.
That actually, just on that point, we need to step up and actually exert some influence on that, because this happening because nobody's saying anything. All this perpetuates. If we're like that, those babies are too young to be twerking and whatever, we need to say something. Closed mouth doesn't get fed.
The one guy who did have a dancing team in here, I will say, with his dancing, like my daughter never was in that, but I know I was talking to a young lady who had her daughter dance with him. He don't have them doing that because he's a cheer coach, like too. So like, and actually they just won globals or something like that. So like
that's the type of person we need to uplift. We need to uplift the people we want to see.
They just won globals. Because
I saw another clip. I'm gonna pass around to everybody. I posted this in the Slack a while back, was the Black leaders, and leaders of Blacks. So when we choose people and we uplift people, we get Black leaders. When they're chosen for us, we get leaders of Black. And as you know, Cardi B is telling you who to vote for.
I'm gonna hit Church up though and find out who's actually over that committee thing. But it was 3 hours long. It was I don't ever remember it being that long. But everybody was in there. You had all the bands, like South Fort Myers, East Lee County, Dunbar, of course. You know, Joe North had like one of the little street buses with a float. Then like, you know, it was just like a lot of the small businesses flooded. A lot of them, you know, that's why I was in here.
But did you collect the business cards?
Most of the work I did. Most of the work I did.
Okay, we need to start putting together.
We need to invite these people. We need to get them on the email list.
Definitely.
Go ahead, Alicia.
Just make those connections, because going into July, if we have we're responsible for the meeting and having them be at the meeting, we've got to start getting out there to those things. I know Lee Pitts does his thing. We got to get out there and knock elbows with Lee Pitts. And that's all I'm gonna say about the part. But you know, everybody's got an influence, and so now he's got a following where the community is looking to his events to go and socialize and network. I know Tisha and Toya do their thing, so that we can say who we are and what we're bringing to the table, so that we gather those who are going to become a part of us, because when we stretch ourselves and be inclusive, we have more following, we have more traction, and we get introduced to more people who will buy into what we're doing. As we grow this land bank, that's going to be a huge.
Yeah, we want them a
So
part of that.
we need
too.
to get out there to those people.
Right. Right.
I agree.
Well, actually, we don't want anybody. They will all want us.
They will want us. Yeah.
All right. We're going to be attracting everyone. All right.
Yeah.
So, but we need to, as you said, even if we're not a part of them, we need to know who they are. They need to know us. We need to maintain that, because it's the connection that's going to build community. Because everybody has the people they like the community, people they don't like the community, the leaders of the community, the people that are just there in the community, but they all know each other. They're all connected to each other. A lot of us have seen it, but we don't know each other. All right. Think back to high school. Everybody knew so-and-so. They at least knew his name at minimum. And we need to get at least that to that level, but more mature. All right. Because a maturity thing and people getting all in their feelings and feelings hurting, we gotta get beyond that and be adults. But yeah, so we need to build that up in the community. All right, anything else on the community involvement?
Maybe they stopped doing that because maybe they stopped the Easter thing because they found out pagan holiday.
I didn't go down that route. All right, but honestly, it's
no, but no, I mean, no, I'm saying as far as business though, it's definitely, good exposure. Like, and then honestly, like I said, it took for a young lady to tell me that straight up. She was like, bro, you do so much for the community. Like, why you ain't in the parade? Like, you of all people. She was like, I'm seeing people that just started a business 3 months ago. And like, you doing all your work is painted around the city. You need to take time out and be in it. I was just looking at it and thinking about like DC Network. Like, we should have had a presence, regardless of that, of the religion aspect of it, is something that the city, like,
right. And many people don't have the necessarily direct religious connotation, but they do have this is the time to dress out and be seen more than the religious aspect. But even getting information out from a religious standpoint and from a knowledge standpoint and a factual standpoint, you have to have that relationship with them to even have that conversation, Wes.
Just to kind of put it in perspective, like yesterday, like and I'm glad she mentioned Lee Pitts, like the DJ, Skinny Sean. Like I know he tagged in a lot of Lee Pitts stuff because he do all the sound and stuff. He's a local DJ, and I did some stuff for him this weekend. And it was a guy from that's from here that's stayed way in like on the other side of Orlando. He came home for the weekend. You know what I'm saying? It was like a lot of people coming home. A girl, I did some stuff for her. She stay in West Palm Beach now. She came home and was in the parade for the weekend. It's like, it's back to where, like we missed it. Like, man, coming up, you spend your last few dollars to get a clean outfit for Easter. Like, it was like that. And like, it's back to that now. So like, that's definitely, that's a mark your calendar thing right there. We definitely never want to.
So yes, keep that for Thursday because we want to get those planning for the next quarter. All right. So Thursday, 10, I imagine 10 to 1, we're going to have land bank stuff. And 1 to 3, we're going to have DC networking stuff. So it'll be a full day. But all right. So moving on to general discussion. So what related topics to business do we have going on, or thoughts, or anything on people's minds?
What if just brainstorming? What if we move chamber almost like they realize, oh, there's a chamber, there's a black chamber out here that we didn't know about. Now we know about it, and because most entrepreneurs or business people are looking to connect with what they think or what they believe is an always authoritative space to basically get recognized or bring awareness to the business. What if we move as if we were?
We could totally do that. I mean, that's a byproduct of networking, and that's a byproduct of having influential people in connection. As a group, we're based on referrals and masterminds. So this is more of a mastermind meeting than it is referral meeting. Although we have been passing business, and we probably need to focus on that more as far as how we can connect, how we can build, and how we can grow, and how we can make sure we're all making more money. But at minimum, just the mastermind connection and the thought contribution that we're all putting in together into each other and pouring into one another is at the heart of our group. And a chamber, I was actually talking with a gentleman yesterday about how the chamber tends to turn more political. And we want to have a political touch, but we don't want to become political. Because
We don't
the
have-
chamber, like out here in Lehigh, it's
That's how. I mean, we can have a
highly
within-
political.
we could be a niche version. We can have a niche for sure, but
Right.
it can still move like it.
Right. There's nothing wrong with that. I just don't want to get too
We don't have to be. I mean, it's us. I mean, it's based
Right.
on our.
yeah. So yeah, perfect. So move more as a chamber. So what would you say we need to do to move more as a chamber?
As far as, I mean, we're doing it. We're doing it now. As far as like what we can do for new members, that come to the table in order for us to help them, get organized and have access to resources, being able to mingle with us, at certain events that we put together. So we actually move like a chamber, without having the title of a chamber. Yeah, I think it's it could be a marketing tactic basically for us to be out there on not just social media, but like people can actually find us online via Google if they're searching for anything related to chamber activities, how to be a part of a chamber, how to be a part of a networking organization. We could probably start developing articles where those articles are answering questions people are asking online, and then they can refer back to us because we're the one that generated that article. So we can put out, whether it's weekly or monthly article, maybe we can have like 5 articles going out per month, connecting to the DC networking website, but it's actually populated on the search engines, through SEO and things like that. I think that's another piece that can, bring some traction to us as well.
Right. And we had talked about that months ago, as far as, and I started with that on ChatGPT with creating articles and such. So we can get back to that and revisit that. All right, so let's plan on doing some more of that on Thursday as well, and we can promote that around, so we can create and share articles. So
One thing on Thursday, make sure that you've already read over and annotated on your readings what you want to discuss about the land bank. That will help us to move a little bit quicker, because I know, like Clifford said, you got to schedule in this time. It's a long period of time, but we've got to do it because we don't want to lose the momentum of the land bank, and make sure that all of your questions and concerns can be addressed.
Right. So read the information that's sent out. And just so everybody knows, when I send out the emails, it lets me know who opened them and who didn't. So if you're not reading them, I know, and I'm gonna get you. All right. So I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying read your stuff. But that's part of just being proper preparation. And I'm keeping the baby quiet. I got baby duty today. So, all right. Everybody love the baby?
Oh, wake up, baby. I'm just kidding.
Right? Hey, you almost made it through the whole meeting. But
Clifford, let's backtrack a little bit to that we're going to a Zoom platform until further notice, so that those who may not be here are not at the butterfly estate thinking that we're there. I think you decided that we're going to do the Zoom platform for now.
Yes. So it largely came down to time, and I got a family and everything. So the drive all the way out there for 1 or 2 of us just didn't quite make sense. Whereas we can just do Zoom and save that traffic time and frustration. I don't have to curse anybody out on my way to work or anything. So if you ever had to deal with traffic.
We're still meeting on Thursday there, though, right?
We're meeting on Thursday in person. We're not at Butterfly. We're at the, okay, you know where the AutoZone is?
Enterprise Center.
No, the Enterprise Center is that's the wind down.
Okay.
No, when you get to the AutoZone, that's right at Fowler. Behind it is a building with a mural on it. That's where Gulf Coast Living, GCL, Gulf Coast Leisure holds their meetings and such. Brian Franklin's friend's building. Or Brian Franklin's
Okay,
building.
send out the address when you can.
Right. I just got that confirmation yesterday, so I will send out the reminder. And I plan to send the reminder tomorrow. Should I send it today? All right.
Either or.
Yeah, I'll send it today. Just as that. So that way we can extra time. Main thing is we need everybody there, everybody there, everybody there. So we can get, oh man. We can get that all set. Come on, babe. There we go. And
Oh, I got it. They're actually, ooh, they famous. It's 2025. Fowler
there you go.
Street. Fowler Street. There y'all go.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'll get that up in a formal update and I'll send out the announcements. And what else we have for a general discussion? We got another 5 minutes. Anything else on people's off topic? What other off topic ideas? I know Wes, you had mentioned the coming financial insecurity is a polite way of saying that.
Financial insecurity.
Yeah. So it's the mitigated collapse of the US dollar. So
Oh yeah.
there's a lot of countries known as the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa have started trading oil and doing commerce in other than the US dollar, largely based off the Chinese yuan. So with that happening, that makes the reserve capability of the US dollars diminish. And that weakens the petrodollar. So that means America, our money is going to be worth as much. Even with the inflation we have now, it's going to get worse. So now, many times when you look at activities like this, it generally leads to war. And that's just from a historical standpoint. When these things happen, it generally leads to war and instability. They talk about hyperinflation and other economic impacts. So if it happens, be prepared. If it doesn't happen, great, you're already prepared. Either way, get ready because there's going to be some instability. I know when gold increases, that actually means the dollar is weakening. Now, Bitcoin yesterday went up $2,000, which is just about 10%, almost 10%, because it was at 28. So that is another sign that the dollar is weak, because when Bitcoin is really going up, that means the dollar is going down. And people's confidence is also going down. There's different aspects of it.
So what's going on? Saudi Arabia is not returning the United States of America's phone call anymore. They're not picking the phone, so they lost the petro. America was being backed by and all that. So now it's the BRICS, Mexicans, Mexico is joining BRICS. A lot of nations joining BRICS. US is basically in Europe, they're starting to become on their own now. So they're weakening. These great powers are not so great anymore. And then the US, I don't know if you heard it or if you heard, but Cash App, CEO, got murdered somewhere in San Francisco. They stabbed him to death. And now, as soon as that happened, the United States introduced FedNow, which is something that's supposed to be replacing Cash App and every other transactional, transferring of money around. So when that comes out, you may want to stay away from it, because this is where they start controlling us and controlling our bank accounts and controlling, what we buy and do with our money. So in July, it's supposed to be dropping, but I think when it drops and your next update on your phone, you may want to stay away from your update, because as soon as you update, you're basically saying that you would allow FedNow to take over your life. So it's going to be, you just got to read up on different things, because there's a lot of things that's going to be changing. You're not even going to see it or even know it that is taking place, because if you're not aware, if you're asleep, that's what's going to be happening, and you're going to be part of the herds that's going in that direction. But it's going to be suffering. It's going to be something that it's not going to create any extra opportunity for you. If anything, it's going to create a strong hold on you. And life is going to be diminished. And now he also, you know, DeSantis just passed a law, you know, why it's passed as far as like, you know, being able to carry concealed weapons without a permit. So it's going to be, I don't know how that's going to, you know, take place here in Florida. But, you know, in other places it is successful where, you know, you don't need a permit to carry your weapons around. But, you know, here in Florida, it's pretty hot when it comes to race and people not getting along and things like that. So we don't know, but, you know, something's happening. They did it for a reason. I think something is coming. I don't know if it's a big war that's coming along because you got all these Ukraine people that's already here. You know, they migrated here. I would say they got transported here by the U.S. and they are being put up in hotels and undercover. And like not too many people know that they're here. I don't know if they're preparing something, maybe a war, Russia, and they already you know, putting stress in China. So it's a lot's going on. I don't know where the blow up is going to happen, but you know, the government is also playing us as far as, you know, things that they be lying about, whether it's as far as our food, what we eat, it's water.
We got to wrap it up. It's 9:30. Main thing is, as Wes pointed out, be prepared with your food, water, funds. It's also an opportunity because whenever there's blood on the streets, opportunity to buy land.
By the way, there's a tropical storm maybe possibly coming too. So that's
What was that?
Well, I didn't even hear about that.
What was
so
that?
just get prepared. It's going to be, if it comes, the first tropical storm that we've ever had in April.
Right. First ever.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I was actually just looking at my generator too. But I gotta make sure that's working. All right. So it's after 9:30, y'all. Thank you all for being in here. I'm gonna work on getting caught up on the recordings to get those uploaded.
All right, guys. Hey.
Bye.
Have a great day, guys.
Bye.
I'll check that email, Kai.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.